Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite charts, but one of the most important charts in all of the crypto market. This is a chart that pretty much no one talks about, and I was one of the first people to discover the correlation, or I should say inverse correlation, to the crypto market back in 2021, and has helped me guide me through this market at every top and every bottom since then accurately. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the stablecoin dominance chart and its significance to the crypto market cycles. So if you haven't already, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and if at the end of it you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check the link in the description below. USDT dominance. You could already see it on the chart, folks. I've made nice little red arrows for you to see. We're going to keep it super simple. Ever since the bottom of the bear market, which was right in here, right? We can actually add probably a couple more little circles here, right? USDT dominance has been forming what we call, in everyday regular technical analysis, a macro descending triangle pattern. What a macro descending triangle pattern is, first and foremost, you see a macro uptrend, right? Meaning we were in a bear market in crypto, all right? From there, you form a top. Once that top is formed, you come down and form a flat bottom, right? So flat bottom, top, top again, flat bottom. This is the beginning of your descending triangle pattern. Once that descending triangle pattern is formed, you will notice that you continue to make lower highs while maintaining a flat bottom. Okay, this is a classic textbook descending triangle pattern at the top of a trend. Okay, an ETA textbook would tell you that at the top of a uptrend, a macro uptrend, when a descending triangle forms, it typically has about a 70 to 80% chance of eventually breaking down to the downside. Okay, for example, if I were to show you on this chart here, you can see I pulled this little picture out of a TA textbook for you, right off Google. You have a macro uptrend, you have a descending triangle pattern form, and they typically do break to the downside. As you can see here, you've had a macro uptrend, you formed your descending triangle, and the likelihood, 70 to 80% chance, is that this will eventually break to the downside. Something else to keep in mind is the reason why you're seeing such a lack of volatility is because this entire cycle we have also been trapped between the 2-week 200 SMA, 200 EMA, and the 50-week SMA. We have not closed a 2-week candle below or above either moving average, along with the flat bottom and downtrending lines of resistance. So I wanted to also point that out to you that at this current moment, these are pinching together tighter than they have been in the entire cycle, which is why you are seeing an extreme lack of volatility. You are seeing the Bollinger Bands, the tightest they've ever been in history. You are seeing extremely choppy, confusing price action. But the goal here today, like I said before, is to remove that confusion, remove that anxiety, remove that depression, remove the anger, and give you clear eyes on the market. And that's what we are going to do. Back to our other chart. As you could see, USDT dominance via this pattern, and we'll even remove the fib, has called every single top and every single bottom this entire bull cycle since 2022. Okay? In October of 2023, we found our first bottom in the crypto market. That was around the 23, 24, 25K level. From there, we rallied straight to 73K. Massive rally. It was the biggest rally of the entire cycle. It started in Q4 of 2023 and it ended in March of 2024. Once we hit our flat bottom, March of 2024, we were being cautious on the market. Now, a lot of you may have not been here at that time, and that's okay, but I'm just kind of giving you a little past outlook of how accurate this pattern has been and how it's helped me personally guide myself and others through the market. Once March of 2024 came and we hit that flat bottom, which ranges between the famous 3.90 and 3.70% level, we went into a mid-cycle correction. We came all the way back up to the top of the descending triangle downward line of resistance, and we bottomed in Q3 of 2024. Okay, this is when a lot of you started to show up in the market, I'm assuming. Once we hit the top here, everyone thought it was over. The cycle was over. It was August/September. It was the same sentiment we had right now. The same. It was, we're going down forever. The cycle is over. The same as it was in March of 2024. Everyone thought we were going up forever. We were never going to go down again. Let alone, that was the bottom for crypto. And then we had a huge rally in Q4 of 2024. We come back down to the 3.9/3.70% level. Guess what? Everyone thinks we're going up forever again. Famously, I remember, and if you don't follow me on X, you could go ahead and follow me. It's in the link in the description below, at KevCapital_TA. Everyone thought we were going up forever when we came back down to this level in December, January. I remember openly taking profits and getting yelled at in my comments saying I was a bear. But the reality is this was a top, and we formed that classic accumulation pattern / W pattern, and look what happened. From that low all the way until April, we went into another major correctional phase. But guess what? In April, and I spell April wrong, so let's get that right. I should know how to spell April. My birthday is in April. All right? We actually bottomed on my birthday, April 9th, which is very, very cool. But back to the video. In April, we came back up to the macro descending triangle. Guess what? That was the bottom for crypto, right? Again, once again. And guess what? In April, if you remember, because most of you were here, the world was over. We were going down forever. The stock market was in a permanent bear market. Everyone was dooming. Crypto was over. Bitcoin's at 73, 74K. We were cooked. All coins were done for. They were at their lowest point since 2023. Brutal, right? Real brutal. Since 2024, it was brutal. But guess what? That was the bottom again. The macro descending triangle was telling us the entire time. Reversal candles, right? The classic behavior that you've seen at the tops. Same as the classic behavior you see at the bottoms. Then guess what? We had our famous recovery rally throughout this year. We rallied all the way from 74K, 73K up to 125. That was right here at the flat bottom in August. And guess what? Who was coming on here and who was talking on X every day in August saying we need to be cautious on the market? Me, right? We were talking about this every day. And I don't think I was getting yelled at that much this time. A lot of people were receptive to it, but we had bearish divergences. We were at the lows on USDT dominance. I said, listen, gotta be a little cautious here. There's some bearish signals. This hasn't broken down yet. And look what it typically does. And guess what happened? Look, you form your accumulation pattern. Boom, you get your rally back up to the top of the descending triangle. That's your October of 2025 lows for crypto so far. And it's looking like it could potentially be the lows. But you're noticing two things here. One, this macro descending triangle has been respected the entire cycle. It is the best second pair of eyes you can use in this market. There is no chart in all of crypto, not Bitcoin, not total market cap, not any altcoin chart that can give you the view that you need on this market to keep a level head and stay calm. Trust me, there was moments around in this cycle where even I was starting to say, man, I don't know, this is not looking good. But then I come over to my USDT dominance chart and say, you know what, Kev? It's not as bad as it seems. Until this breaks, nothing has changed. The cycle continues. And that has served me well, even in moments where I'm not invulnerable to getting white knuckles on the market. It's happened. I remember back in August of 2024, it was bad. July, particularly, I was like, man, this is not looking too good. But again, the USDT dominance chart saves the day for your mindset, right? Your mindset on the market, right? Which is the most important thing, is the control of your emotions, all right? So with that being said, here is the current low for the crypto market as of October of 2025. That was once again at the top of the descending triangle. So if it is to play out again, there is a chance that we either come up here and make a double top like we've done, right? Look at, we've made double tops every time. You have one high and then you have another high. You have one high, you have another high. You have one high. We haven't really come up and made that second high. Maybe you can argue that this was the second high right here, this little wick. That's fine. Not it doesn't have to happen that way. But the facts are is you're at this major resistance level once again, and what are we seeing in the market? The worst sentiment of all time. Massive depression, massive anxiety, massive stress. And I that's why I wanted to make this video because this is gonna help that, right? I don't want to be a psychologist. All right. I'm not a psychologist. I have my own life. We all have our own lives, but I do feel it is a part of my job to help calm the air, not necessarily just guide through charts and through macro fundamentals, but also just help calm people a little bit because listen, we're going into November. We got Christmas coming. We got Halloween coming up. People don't need to be feeling like this, right? I mean, just you need to be calm, right? You need to stay cool, stay measured. You know what I mean? Because this is what we're dealing with. And the facts are, this is not a chart to be getting uber stressed about. All right? So, with that being said, I hope I'm doing my job in helping you guys out with that also. Emotional control, which is an important part of being an analyst or an investor. So, what are we expecting from here? Well, two things are either going to happen. Either this is going to break out to the upside and we're going to end up breaking this high at 6.2, 5.93 area. And then we know for sure, okay, crypto is in a macro downtrend. Or we're going to do what we've done every single time. We're in Q4. We have good macro fundamentals on our side. The Fed is easing. The macro is stable. And we're going to come right back down to this 3.9 to 3.70% level and end up breaking down from it, continuing the bull run. Well, how does that work, Kev? How could you say such a bold thing? Well, the facts of the matter are macro descending triangles have a 70 to 80% chance to break down. That is a fact. That is not my opinion. Okay, you could go into any TA textbook and look at that up yourself. This is without a doubt a macro descending triangle. Okay, the facts are 70 to 80% likelihood that this breaks down. And I know that seems impossible right now. I know that seems like, Kev, you're crazy. It's not breaking down. We're going up. And there's a 20 to 30% chance that that does happen. But the facts are, is the overwhelming majority of these patterns, 70 to 80%, break down to the downside. Okay? So, until that changes, until something of that sort happens, do not let the market overly stress you. Every single time we have hit this top area, I have seen the worst sentiment I have ever seen in this market. And every time we hit the bottom of this descending triangle, I have seen the most bullish euphoric sentiment I have ever seen in the market. You get what I'm saying here, guys? Don't be one of those people who fall for this trap anymore. Put this chart on there, draw it out on the log scale so that you can have it and that you can track the market so that you can help handle your own emotions. I don't want to see people depressed. I don't want to see people saying they're going to do bad things and my life is over and they don't need to see that stuff, man. That's not, the game is all fun and everything until you start seeing stuff like that. And that's why I felt that I needed to come on here and make this video for you guys because I really feel that, yeah, I mean, is this like going to solve all your problems? No, but it's going to really help guide you because trust me when I tell you, this is the ultimate guiding chart in the crypto market. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Really, really great chart here that'll help you guide yourself. And when this thing breaks, when it finally decides to break, remember there's a 70 to 80% chance it breaks down, 20 to 30 it breaks up. Then you'll know if the cycle is legitimately over or not, or continuing. Okay? So with that being said, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. Don't forget to check the link in the description below. That's the link to the Patreon. You can get a free preview of the Patreon and all the content that I put out on a daily basis. It's all exclusive. It's all for the premium members. We have over 1,000 members in there now, plus the Discord, which is very, very cool. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.